Okay, so there's one more important fundamental that you need to know about, and that is the kneecap release, which the kneecap, the patella, actually sits in the tendon of the quadriceps muscle, which is the muscle on the fronts of the thighs. And I'm going to show you what that looks like to relax the patella. But first I want to tell you why this is important. We have a great quantity of muscle throughout our body that we have very little innervation in, meaning that we're not really doing a whole lot of work with those muscles. Not a whole lot of electricity flowing through there, and therefore we don't have a whole lot of connection from the brain to those muscles. This particular activity or motor skill is really important because the patella actually, it has a kind of a diamond point on the back side of it, and it sits in a groove that is associated with that diamond point in the femur. So the point sits in the groove, and we bend the knee and we walk and everything is fine and dandy. But because of the fact that so many of us have been walking for so many years with the feet not straight, with the feet pointed out away from each other or duck-footed, things have rotated around, things being the bones of the legs. And so the patella, with that diamond point on the back side of it, might be a little bit off of that groove. And if we spend a lot of time dragging that bone back into the bone underneath, so dragging the kneecap back into the thigh bone or the femur underneath, we can get an etching in the femur underneath, and we start to wear out the joint. We start to get things like arthritis and chondromalacia, and it's really important not only that we have control of this giant section of muscle of our body, but also that we're not doing extra damage to the knee joint. So I'm going to show you what that means to relax the kneecaps. So we're going to look at my cameraman's kneecaps here, and so pull them both up. Alright, so there are three positions that knees can be in. They can be bent, they can be straight, and they can be locked. So right now we have a pretty locked knee. So you can see that the quadriceps muscles are contracted, and so what that's done is actually drawn the patella back into the femur underneath. So if he goes walking around like that, that's going to, over time, start to damage the tissues around the area. So we want to practice being able to relax those muscles. And for many of you, this is going to be easy, and for many of you, this is going to be like one of the hardest things you've ever done in your life. So the way we're going to start practicing this is go ahead and lean back against the wall. So he's going to lean back against the wall, and he's going to move his feet away from the wall. And we practice it this way because the quadriceps have very little mechanical advantage in this position. So it's the easiest place to try practicing relaxing the quads, or as we call it, dropping the kneecaps or releasing the kneecaps. So go ahead and bend forward a little bit. So he's bending up at the, he's in the witness protection program, so he doesn't want to be completely on camera. So he's already embarrassed that he has his pants rolled up above his knees. So I'm not going to show you his face. But, so in that position, can you go ahead and relax your quadriceps? Oh, look at that. Just FYI, everybody, he learned to do this today. He could do it leaning back against the wall, but wait till you see the progress he's made in one day. Okay, go ahead and pull him back up and relax him back down. And relax him back down. There we go. Okay, now can you do what you were doing before and contract him again? So the contracting of the quads is what would be locking your knees. And the left one. Now, when you did it before, you kind of bent the knee a little bit. Can you see if you can recreate that? Okay, so a lot of times this is what some of you will see. As you're going to relax your quadriceps or attempting to relax your quadriceps, you'll see a little bit of knee bend action happening. That's not what you want. You want your knees to stay fully extended, and you want to be able to relax the muscles on the fronts of your thighs, which are your quadriceps. So straighten out those knees and let the kneecaps relax. Perfect. All right, now step away from the wall. So now he's standing on his own accord, no longer leaning back against the wall with the wall able to hold him up, and he's going to check and see if he can do it here. So I know he can because he's doing it right now, so that's awesome. That's what he was able to do today. So go ahead and contract your quads. And relax them. And just the left one. Contract it. There you go, and relax it. And the right one, and relax it. Awesome. So I'll tell you what he was doing before. I'm going to go ahead and hand this back to you. What he was able to do before today was he could lean back against the wall and relax his quads just fine. No problem there. He had it. It was good. And he could do it standing up, looking at his kneecaps, because he had his head out in front of him. So he still had a little bit of weight forward. So again, quads have a little less mechanical advantage there. And as soon as he picked up his head, his quads would come back on. So go ahead and pan down to my legs. So I said there's 3 positions of the knee. We can have a bent knee, which if you're a hyperextender, if you've participated in sports or fitness, you've probably acquired a habit of keeping your knees just slightly bent. Soft knees, ready stance, any of those things. Or if you're a hyperextender, you might have been told by a physical therapist or a doctor that you don't want to stand with your knees locked because that's when you get that real bowed leg. I'm not a hyperextender, so I can't really show you what that looks like, but I'm sure you guys have seen that where the leg looks really bowed this way, where the knee actually moves back a little bit further. So the instruction is often, well, just keep your knees slightly bent because you don't want to hyperextend. That's not a good thing. That's true, it's not a good thing. Has more to do with the rotation of the legs than it does with the actual straightening or bending of the knee. So there's a bent knee. This is a bent knee, but it's still a bent knee. This is a locked knee because my quads are contracted. And then there's one in between that is called a straight knee. So that is a straight knee. So there's a bent knee, there's a locked knee, and there's a straight knee. This is the habit we want to cultivate. So go ahead and come back up. So as you're doing your calf stretch, as you're doing your double calf stretch, if you're doing exercises during class where you're standing on one leg, for example, you can start to practice, can I relax my quads here? Can I relax my kneecaps? And you'll hear that cue pretty often during class, relax your kneecaps. So I want to make sure you know exactly what that means. Thank you.